There it goes, the tree folk's gone, and we do kill him. And we're going to do Emergent Ultimatum right here, and he scoops. Welcome back to yet another Climbing the Ranks video, where in this video, we're just going to be running another historic Brawl deck, and it's Golos, the Tireless Pilgrim, or just Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. So basically, when it enters a battlefield, you search your library for a land card, so any land card in your deck, and then put it on the battlefield tapped. That is good and all, but the more of the thing that we're looking for is its second ability, where you pay 2 generic and 1 of every color, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them without casting or paying their mana cost. So it's a really versatile card, not only because it's 5 generic to cost, so you can artifact ramp and do all that kind of fun stuff, but whenever it enters the battlefield, it almost automatically pays for itself. So most likely on turn 2 after it's played, or the turn after it is played, you can do its second ability, which is crazy. So let's get right into the deck list. First off, the 2 1-drops. Wash Away, it's just a great commander / historic brawl card, and Veil of Summer. This card is banned in almost everything but this certain thing, the historic brawl deck, because this card is stupid. It shuts down black or blue decks. Then we have for ramp Explore, we have some Incubation Druid for more ramp. We have Into the North, ramp, Lotus Cobra, ramp, Paradise Druid, ramp, Regrowth. It returns stuff from our graveyard to our hand. Tingle Floor Haven, ramp / land. Wolf Hollow or Wolf Willow Haven, this is a ramp, and it also can turn into a 2/2. Growth Spiral is also more ramp. Arcane Signet, ramp, Cold Steel Heart, ramp. Our Guardian Idol, ramp, Mindstone, ramp. Everything on this page is ramp except the Regrowth and partially the Tangle Florhegian. On to the next 3 drops. It is Balgate Recovery, which is basically Regrowth, Cultivate, ramp, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, ramp, Elvish Rejuvenator, ramp, Llanowar Visionary, ramp, Essica God of the Tree, just stupid, Risen Reef, ramp, Titan of Nature's Wrath, ramp. It's, you see a pad you can call me on, it's a lot of ramp, and then just as we get on, we can see some of the more fun stuff. Day of Judgment, board wipe, Settle the Wreckage, board wipe, Spark Double for copying, Teferi Master of Time, Circuitous Route for ramp, Migration Path, ramp, Atris Oracle of Half-Truce, I cannot talk, but this card basically, you know what this card does. It's just really, really good. Binding of the Old Gods for destruction. Quandrix Cultivator for ramp. Mass Manipulation for taking control of stuff. Now, yes, it does not trigger off of the Golos, but when we do get it, it is very, very good, and the amount of ramp in this deck makes it really easy to get. Kenrith, a really, really good card. Doomscar, board wipe. Elspeth Conquers Death, just a really, really good enchantment for white. Time Warp, another turn. Renin 7, ramp, and then Pain, basically, Unnatural Growth, more Pain, Teferi Hero of Dominaria, more Pain and just Annoyance, Kaya the Inexorable, Slowness and Annoyance. We also have here Ashiok Nightmare Muse, it mills stuff, it returns stuff from their hand, so like anything on the battlefield that's a non-land permanent, you can put it back to their owner's hand and they have to exile a card. And then the last ability, where you can cast up to 3 spells from among face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana cost, is really, really good, because not only the Nightmares exile it, but the things that you're exiling from their hand from her -3 ability also comes off that trigger. And the Scarab card, or the Scarab God, probably one of the best cards ever printed for Mtga. Discover the Formula, a Mtga exclusive card. It's a really, really good one. You seek 3 non-land cards, then non-land cards in your hand perpetually gain this spell cost 1 less to cast. So everything in your hand basically is 1 less to cast, and you get basically to draw 3. Sublime Epiphany, counter, return, copy, and draw. Burning Room Demon for basically a tutor. Averbrook Caretaker, just a really, really, really dumb card that should not have been printed. Definitely just a green card. Aggressive Mammoth gives trample and everything trample. Casualties of War, Destruction, the Kami War. Exile, returning things from their opponent's hand, then they discard a card, and then you just put it back under your, you put it back, you exile it, and then you put it back transformed. And then the switch side is whenever It has flying and trample, has all colors. Whenever it attacks a defending player, choose a non-land card in your graveyard and you return it to your hand, and Ogachi gets +X/+0, where X is the mana value of the card. So not only is you're getting reoccurrence from your graveyard to your hand, but you're also attacking with a lot of damage, which with flying and trample. So anything that can block it, it will probably go through. Alrund's Epiphany, extra turn. Kiora, Best of Sea God, just a really dumb enchantment. Beanstalk Giant, it's just a ramp and a big guy out there. Coma, Cosmos Serpent, also a really dumb card. Emergent Ultimatum, basically a Golos, but not. Vanquish the Horde for another board wipe. It's the best board wipe in my personal opinion for any sort of format, because it's basically a 2-drop board wipe. Crater Hoof Behemoth, giving everything trample and +X/+X. Magma Opus, it's just a free thing off of Golos. It's very good. And Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Why this card? Because why not this card? This card is such a good card. Then we have all these sorts of land. It's all just sort of mana ramp, and the thing that we plan on getting the most in this deck from Golos the Tireless Pilgrim is either Reliquary Tower, Command Tower, or the World Tree. Everything else comes after that, and sometimes Ghost Quarter depending on what they have. Yes, this deck goes very quickly because even though Golos is a 5, the artifact ramp and the ramp in general goes through this deck really quickly, and we will be casting things off of Golos. When Golos usually hits, it's immediately destroyed because of how ridiculous of a card it is, and every turn, if you keep casting it, you get an advantage by just getting a land. It's a very good card, and that is why it's banned in Commander, because it's basically free every turn. You get to pay what you just paid for it, and you also get to activate its next ability the next turn if you just played it. So let's get right into these games, because it's going to be really fun. Game 1, our hand looks pretty good. We do have a Reliquary Tower and that kind of stuff, but it's not the best. We just want more land, and we need more other things. We have Willow Haven just in order to do that, because just having a Reliquary Tower and a black line doesn't really do anything. So we're going to do Circuitous Route already, because on turn 3 we kind of do that kind of stuff. So that means turn 4 Golos, which is pretty funny, and technically turn 3 if we were really lucky. Next turn we're going to do a Swamp Golos. Here it comes. We're going to get definitely the World Tree, because it's the best card in our deck. Well, the best land pretty much. Goldspan Dragon comes down. Whatever, it's just the 4/4 that attacks us. I don't really care about it, because it's going to be gone next turn anyways with the Kami War, and if we can't resolve that, we'll just settle the wreckage it. Kami War, Goldspan Dragon just kills it. We're gonna pay 2 life because we want the Dryad of the Elysian Grove to get another land out there and another creature for blockers. He gets Torbrand, Thane of the Red Fell, or Thane of Red Fell. I can never talk on these things. 7 Dwarfs is gonna attack, and we don't really care about it because next turn we're really set up. Ooh, we got Ulamog, and we can play Ulamog, which I think is pretty funny. We do it, and from there we're gonna do the Torbrand, and he scoops right there. Turn 2, or game 2 actually, not turn 2. Our hand is looking very good. That means technically we can get lucky. Turn 5 Golos, or even turn 4 if we are really lucky. If we get like Llanowar Visionary out there really easy, we say hello to him, he says hello back, thank goodness. He is playing Prismatic Bridge or Essica, we don't know anymore because they've lied to us this entire time. It's a pretty good deck, Prismatic Bridge anyways. The Essica variant isn't too bad either. We do a lot Llanowar Visionary, drawing us a card and making us a little mana source out there. The deck is okay, depending on the Essica one. The Prismatic Bridge deck is very good, but it gets destroyed from one card, which is any enchantment removal. This means turn 5, or turn 4 actually, we get a Golos. We're going to get the World Tree again, because it's the best card in our deck. The Prismatic Bridge comes down. That's kind of a problem, but not really, because we get Emergent Ultimatum. We're going to be choosing, let's see, what do we want? We're going to do a Alrund's Epiphany, the Kiora Best of Sea God, and an Unnatural Growth. Let's see which one he puts back, because he's probably going to put back the Kiora, and we're going to get the Unnatural Growth and the Alrund's Epiphany for another turn, which makes sense, and yep, that does exactly what I just said. Unnatural Growth comes down, it doubles our Golos. We attack for 6 next turn. We get a Breeding Pool. We do Discover the Formula, getting things to our hand. We don't pay any life because we don't really need a card. We do Mind Stone for 1, which I think is pretty funny. Prismatic Bridge gets a Vraska Golgari Queen out there, which we don't really care about because it's not that big of a threat. Sure, it can kill our Llanowar Visionary, but we're not too worried about it. That is something we have to be worried about, though, the Ashiok Nightmare Muse, because that can cause a lot of things to happen. But he just does nothing. So we do Ulamog here. We're going to get rid of the bridge and the Ashiok because the Vraska isn't that big of a problem, but I do still want to kill it. He blocks the Golos with it, so only little Anwar Visionary goes through, making it into where it doesn't die. However, Unnatural Growth next turn is still going to kill it, unless he gets something very lucky that basically says no Planeswalker can die. He gets a 7/7 with nothing because we're going to kill it next turn with the Kami War, because the Kami War is so good. Kami, whatever. There it goes, the Tree Folk's gone, and we do kill him. Game 3, and is looking very good. We do have a black, any color, and a white, which is not too bad. So we're going to reveal a card, do Wolf Willow Haven out there on our Shine Shadow Snarl, or whatever it's called. I think it's Shine Shadow. I don't know why I can't talk with this. He Doomblades our Dryad, which really is just kind of mean. I don't know why you do anything like that. But we still get Golos out there because of the Wolf Willow Haven. We're going to get definitely the World Tree again because it's the best card in the deck. The best land card anyways, and making us to tap for anything is pretty funny. We're going to do Discover the Formula here. We only get one thing really that we can cast off of it. So we do Paradise Druid for another turn, but we do have the Scarab God in our hand and Gross Spoil for extra ramp and draw, which is pretty nice. Let's see, he's just going to attack with Golos. We don't really care. And Spark Double comes. That's really good. So we're going to activate it to get the Dryad of the Elysian Grove back, just to bait out anything else that may cause any problems. He does his own thing, and he's running the Shrine variant of the Golos deck. That's pretty fun. It's okay. The only time that it does actually go off is if the shrines, if you have enough shrines out there, but something like the Moonsliver Key will automatically do it. We're going to copy the Scarab God because when the Scarab God dies, or when the Spark Double dies, it'll just return back to our hand. So we have pretty much a free looping copy, and it's a Scarab God, and Scarab Gods are fun. Key to the Archive, we kill it because we don't really want to deal with that right now. Haunted of the Infinite Rage deals us 5 damage, I believe. Doomscar kits, we get both of our Scarab Gods back. Well, technically the Spark Double and a Scarab God, which is pretty funny. Key to the Archive comes down. Again, technically, I don't know how that worked. We get both of them back. We do Ulamog. We're going to get rid of Key to the Archive and Honden of the... Well, not Honden of the Infinite... I don't know what I'm thinking of. Honden of the Infinite Rage. We get that rid of. I was thinking of the Sanctum of the Shattered Heights. There's so many shrines now. Spark Double comes down. He's going to Sanctum it, but it doesn't matter. We have 2 Ulamog, so in case if he can't deal with it, it's pretty much game over for him. The Kami War comes down. He's going to exile, surprisingly, our regular Ulamog than our copy, because... that's kind of weird. He kills our Prismatic Bridge, which is just annoying. We're going to get Golos down for the second time. We're going to get the Reliquary Tower because we already have the Prismatic, well, we already have the World Tree. I was about to say the Prismatic Bridge. And we also have the Command Tower, so we're just going to get the Reliquary Tower just in case we need Lance. We're going to get rid of the Burning Rune Demon here because we don't really need it. He gets the other Haunting of Cleansing Fire, and he gets the Ghost Shintai of Ancient Wars out there, which is going to deal us 4 damage, which sucks. We're going to do Kiara, nah, we're gonna do Golos, and sadly we get all lands like our deck gives us a lot. So we're gonna do Kaya the Inexorable out here, hopefully exiling his Ghost Shintai or his Kami War. We don't really know. I think the Kami War is more of a big threat, so that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna exile it, not destroy it. He's gonna tap our Sanctum of Tranquil Light. Well, wrong way. He's gonna tap our Golos with Tranquil of... Gosh, I can't even talk. He's gonna tap our Golos with Sanctum of Tranquil Light, and he's gonna do Haunted of Cleansing Fire, Haunted of Seeing Winds, getting him cards and all that kind of fun stuff, all that shrine stuff. He's actually doing it correctly and getting his deck running, but while we aren't over here, we just have a Kaya and a Guardian Idol over here, which really sucks. We do have next turn a Kiora, Scarab, and a Spark Double, which is not too bad. We can cast Golos if we really wanted to, but it's not the best in this situation. I know he's going to kill the Kaya instead of dealing us damage because the Kaya is more of a threat right now, so there that goes. Go Shintai triggers. We're going to do the Scarab God, and then we're going to Spark Double the Scarab God because that's pretty much the best play we got right now, because we know that he's probably going to somehow kill the Kiora, the Best of Sea God. We do Cold Steel Heart. We're going to choose blue because we have any color anyways for Kiora next turn. And he does Sanctum of Shattered Heights, killing it, but we get it back next turn anyways. Or at the end of this turn, he gets the Haunting of Seeing Winds and the Haunting of Cleansing Fire that does basically nothing but gain him life, which really sucks. It puts us at a very bad situation. Letter of Acceptance come down. It's just a scry and a mana. It doesn't really matter to us right now. We don't know what he's really going to do. Celestis, don't really care about it. It's just another mana thing. Let's see what else he's going to do. He has Beanstalk Giant, which could cause a big threat when it comes down. Sanctum of Shattered Heights does 5 damage, so it's still alive. Golos comes down, okay. Azusa, which is okay. Glittering Frost, which is fine. And Mirage Mirror doesn't really matter because it just becomes a copy of something. He does Sanctum of Shattered Heights, which he copies it with the Mirror thing, I believe. And he's going to deal us more damage. We're pretty much going to be down to lower because the Go Shintai of Ancient Words is going to deal us 5 damage to us. So we're down to 6. We better get something good or we're dead next turn. We get a land. That rocks. Golos comes down. We're going to get... I don't really even care at this point. Let's just get a Blight Verge pathway or whatever. We're going to do Scarab God here just to get some blockers out there, but it doesn't matter because of the Sanctum of Tranquil Light. I said it correctly this time. Haunted of Seeing Winds comes down. He does a Shia Soul of the Wild, which is a 18/18. That's kind of scary, and he does have enough to cast his Beanstalk Giant next, or this turn, if he really wanted to. I don't know if he is. He doesn't attack, surprisingly, which it kind of makes sense. Splendid Reclamation comes down. Beanstalk Giant comes down. Go Shintai of Ancient Wars deals us exactly 6 damage, and we are out of this game. On to game 4. Hand is really good. We have the World Tree right off the bat. We say hello back to him. We're going to get a Cold Steel Heart instead of the Incubation Druid just because it's a... I don't know. I don't really care about the Incubation Druid right now. We can do it next turn. So we do have a turn 4/turn 5. I don't really know. It's a turn 4 Golos, which is pretty funny with 5 lands out there. Yeah, I don't know. We kind of want to bait out whatever he has because we know he has a black thing out there already. So in case he does want to destroy it somehow. Crossing Grips are Cold Steel Heart, surprisingly, and Days of Judgment, fine, that's perfectly good, because Averbright Caretaker is definitely a bait card because it can cause a lot of problems quickly. We get a Command Tower, he desparks our Golos, sadly, but we don't really care. We're going to cast Golos once again, getting another land card. We're going to get a Reliquary Tower here. Now we have the trio of amazingness with lands, and he can't cast his Prismatic Tree, which I find pretty funny, but he does cast Oath of Teferi. From there, we get a Growth Spiral. We do Golos, the Tireless Pilgrim's ability, getting a Lanowar Visionary, a Sublight Epiphany, which we don't really care about because it just copies stuff, so we might as well copy, draw a card, and we could have bounced something, but we didn't really want to bounce his Oath of Teferi because of how it works, and it'll just allow him to get plus abilities whenever he plays it. Just warring with 2 loyalty counters, well, 2 times per se, is good enough, not allowing him to draw more cards and do that kind of stuff. Vine Glimmer Snarl we have in our hand. Will Scholar Frost comes down, which I don't really care about. He gets to draw 3 cards. It's cool, I guess. It's not the best, I would say, but he does get to activate both of his abilities because of Oath of Teferi. Casualty of War comes down. We're going to destroy a Planeswalker, a land, and a enchantment, killing him, and, well, not killing him, we won somehow. I guess that was too much for him to handle. On to the final game. We have a really good hand here. We have 2 parts of the trio of the amazing lands, and almost all of the games we've said hello to each other. Into the North comes down. We will pretty much have a turn 3 if we got really lucky, but turn 4 again, Golos. This deck gets insane. We can technically have a turn 3 Golos if we do get really lucky, but it doesn't really matter. Golos comes down, we're going to get the Command Tower, and we already have the trio on turn 5, which is pretty, well, turn 4 actually, which is pretty funny. He gets Ren and 7 out there, which I don't really care about because I have one in my hand, which it's not going to cause that many problems right now. Magma Opus, but I don't know why I thought it was a fun idea to play it. We get a Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, a land in a completely useless Veil of Summer because he's not running either of those colors. We're going to attack because I know he's probably not going to block with the Sithis. If he does, that's kind of surprising. Yep, he doesn't. We're going to untap 2 lands just to see if we can bait him because we have literally nothing in our hand other than making a treasure, which is kind of funny because it makes it look like we do have something. Banishing Light comes on Golos. We're going to put it back in our command zone. He attacks the Teferi, which we don't really care because it's just a Teferi and it's not going to take much damage anyways because we're going to plus him each turn. And we have a Casualty of War on everything, which is very rarely happens. So we kill an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, a planeswalker, and a land. He gets the Shaper's Sanctuary, which just basically draws him cards, which we really want that to get rid of because if he's running an enchantment deck, whenever he plays an enchantment, he draws 2 cards basically. well, whenever it becomes a speller ability, so we don't really want that to happen because a lot of our stuff targets his stuff. He gets Clark Class out there, so hopefully he doesn't get the one that makes it to where they have Shroud from everything. Calyx comes down, that's going to be a problem. We gotta get rid of that next turn. Fabled Pass, well, not Fabled Passes, I'm looking at Fabled Passage right now, but we do have an Elspeth for next turn. He attacks our Teferi for 1, it doesn't really matter at all. We're going to do Elspeth Conquers Death definitely on the Calyx because that card can get really annoying very quickly, and especially in an enchantment deck, it just runs with it. Quandar's Cultivator comes down, we get a forest card out there because we have every land we need, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to untap 2 lands to make it look like we do have something, but we actually don't. And he does Sigil of the Empty Throne, which makes a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying whenever he casts an enchantment spell. He does Teferi's Protection. That's kind of funny that we have Teferi out there and he doesn't. So it basically, Teferi's Protection says no to everything, which is perfectly fine right now. We're going to get a Lotus Cobra. We're going to do Explore here. We get Lotus Cobra mana, it doesn't really matter because it's just going to fizzle anyways. We're going to attack with Quandar's Cultivator. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to attack with it, but next turn we basically got him with the Emergent Ultimatum because, I mean, he can't really recover from this. Sure, he gets the Sigil of the Empty Throne every turn. Vanquish the Horde, killing all of our stuff. That's kind of a shock. We're going to put the Golos back, and we're going to do Emergent Ultimatum right here, and he scoops. So overall, the deck is pretty good. The main players of this deck were obviously the trio of lands, which were, you know what they are already, but the Command Tower, the World Tree, and Reliquary Tower, they're the first 3 picks that we do all the time, and they're the main players of the deck. Also, some other nice mentions were definitely the little ramps down here to get Golos out quicker, and for some reason, where is it at? Lanor Visionary. For some reason, almost every game we got it, which was strange. We never got any of our big ramp cards that were ridiculous, like Risen Reef, Uro, or some of the other things that were really, really good. I mean, we got Quandar's Cultivator once, which is kind of surprising. We didn't even really get Beanstalk Giant. We got one where we had to scoop him because, well, we didn't really need him, and it was pretty good. So the deck was winning around 80 to 90% of the time, which is reasonable. It's what this deck should do because Golos is an extremely really good card. It's hard to beat it because of the amount of reoccurrence, and the turn after you cast him, you're going to be able to activate his second ability, which is crazy. It's reasonable why he's banned in Commander, and I don't see a problem why he wouldn't be banned on here, just because he's very, very good. And stuff like Veil of Summer basically shutting down blue and black decks against this, which is the main problem, such as counterspells and destruction. I mean, what's it not to do? It's a very versatile deck, it's a very reoccurring deck, and it's very hard to deal with when you get Ulamog out there on turn 3, which is really funny. And yeah, I don't really have any remarks for this deck. It's very, very good, very, very powerful, and it probably should be banned on here.